All right, guys, so these cards right here are the Storyteller Tactics, and I think this is pretty much a game changer for a lot of people. Now, as there's more and more content online, how are you going to stand out? You're going to stand out by telling better stories. That's what the top content creators are able to do. They're able to tell better stories. And this works really good also for webinars, for emails, and you can plan this out. Now, I'm going to give a couple caveats about this Storyteller's Tactics deck. The first is it's very expensive. So relatively speaking, this is a very expensive deck of cards. Normally, if you go to Chapters or something like that and you get a deck of cards, you're not going to be spending too much. However, there aren't, like, a lot of those cards are not really the same type of thing. These are really well thought out cards, and let me give you the second caveat. The second caveat is you need to learn how to use them. So it's not necessarily intuitive. So here's one of the cards right here. And as you can see, this is Happily Ever Afters. And so in the back, it's going to give you 3 examples of using that story. Third caveat, you actually need to put in the work and the thought to turn this into your own story, how it applies to your company, how it applies to your webinar, how it applies to your email, okay? There are a ton of different cards here. It's like quite stacked, a lot of different cards, and some of them will actually link to other cards. So it'll help you map out the whole story arc, and there's a good example of that. So you can actually get the digital deck only, as again, it's quite expensive just for the digital deck. I obviously got the physical deck, and this actually comes with the tutorials of, how best to use these cards. I find that really helpful. But if I was on a budget and just wanted to get the content, then you could just access the digital only deck and you'd be able to get the full value from that as well. Now, people love them, and I think that this is really important because if you've ever looked at people that speak on a stage, maybe on TED Talks or maybe seminars you've gone to, what stands out about good presentations is they're able to tell better stories, right? So for me, I think this is just a baseline thing. With AI, there's going to be more content out there. There's going to be more people competing to, show up in a different feed or algorithm or all that kind of stuff. And so you need to stand out by telling better stories. People love this. And these are not just normal people. I guess they're normal people, but business owners love it because they often focus so much on the business that you know it so well, intimately, that it's hard to sometimes tell a story about it and get that customer thinking about that. So I found this really helpful for building my webinars. I'll put a link in the description. They fulfill orders and can ship to the EU, US, and Canada, which is all really good. And yeah, so they're compatible actually with Miro, Mural, FigJam, PowerPoint, Jamboard, Whiteboard. So anything that allows you to import. So it makes a lot of sense. Anyhow, if you want to tell better stories, check out Storyteller Tactics, and I'll put a link in the description. If you've used these in the past, let me know what your thoughts are, because I do find that for some people, they may not be they may be a little bit intimidating. And if you've got any tips for using them, and you've used them in the past, let the viewers know in the comments. I sure would appreciate it. Hey, I'll see you in the next video.